Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Nick Carter. I wanted to make this video real quick to talk to you specifically about why I look up to Ron Paul. He was running for president, as we all know he isn't now. But this guy was getting so much negative information and so much disinformation. There were so many negative reports going out about Ron Paul, about how he's a racist and all this stuff, and I'm not here to talk to you about that. I don't believe most of those stories, all those negative reviews on Ron Paul. I look up to Ron Paul very much. I'm not into politics, but here's a guy who preaches freedom, and that's what I'm about. I know if you look at a lot of these, where we get a lot of our information from the newspapers, where the majority of people get their information in America, it's from newspapers, CNN, Fox News, all these organizations. And I'm not saying all the information they present is biased, but a lot of it is because they're controlled by corporations. And a lot of the corporations don't want Ron Paul in office. A lot of people don't want individuals like Ron Paul in office because it's almost like people will start to open their eyes and open their mind to what's going on. And I just want to present to you, Ron Paul, many people look up to Ron Paul and just don't buy all the negative reviews about this guy. I know at one point, when he, in the debates, I know this is a while ago, but in the debates, he was talking, and there was an online poll, and he had won the poll. And you look at all these broadcasters and what they're saying. I don't care. I'm quoting them, and I don't want to put words in their mouth because I don't want to come across as trying to feed disinformation myself. But what a lot of these news broadcasters did is they said, I don't care, Ron Paul didn't win this debate. But clearly he did. If you look at the online poll, he did. I know these type of things, there's generally not a yes or no answer, but according to that online poll, he won by a good percentage. People had texted in or called in, and they had voted. Ron Paul had more votes than any other Republican candidate. Now, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't buy into that type of stuff. And one thing I couldn't understand is if we're free in America, I want to know why that the third-party candidates got very little news time. It got no news time, and I had to search on the internet to find the third-party presidential debates, and I had to search for the third-party vice presidential debates. Why aren't those third-party candidates in the debates? And it just makes no sense to me. And on the news, when they were saying Ron Paul was still in the running, there was nothing about him. And when he had set the day record for most money funded, when he got the most money funded in a day, we heard about that. But the second time it happened, there was virtually no information about that. Now, I'm not saying that everything Ron Paul says is right. I'm not saying that. I'm trying to present to you that individuals that come across and are trying to present information that goes against the corporations, they get no time. That's no time. That's why third-party candidates get no time. And I would consider myself more of a third-party candidate. I understand there's no yes or no answer when it comes to politics. But why not present all the information that's out there? Why not let individuals make their own decisions? And why does it have to be presented in a biased way that manipulates your ideas? I watched Ron Paul, and I looked at I agree with a lot of his politics, even though I'm saying I don't know that they're necessarily right. But why does he get no news time? Just explain that to me. I've reiterated that a couple times in this video. It's because corporations that own America don't want people to know. They don't want people to start to think for themselves. And I personally believe that people are starting to think for themselves. And if you look at a lot of kids my age, they don't buy all this information presented on the news. And how is it that the United States is supposedly the richest country, but we're in the biggest debt? And the taxpayers are getting more money taken away from them more than ever. It's not how much we're taking in. It's that the people who take the money, they don't know how to handle it, is basically what it comes down to. And I really do wish all these politicians the best. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of Obama. I didn't agree with McCain. But I do wish them the best. I really do. But I can't understand all these corporations. They own a lot of America, and people are starting to open their eyes to that. Ron Paul, the likes of Ron Paul, Jesse Ventura, Bob Barr, Chuck Baldwin. All these guys should be researched more, and they should be given more time. I want you to know that, and I hope you can go research these guys and just start to think for yourselves. And just, guys, don't buy everything you watch on the news. Don't buy everything you watch. Don't buy everything you read in the newspapers, and don't buy everything you watch on the news. You got to research stuff yourself, and just understand that there's a lot of stuff going on that you don't hear about. And I'm an avid health individual. I try to take care of myself, and I'm sitting here and watching these news health broadcasts, which I have a good understanding of, and it's so biased. There's a lot of information going out about how there's no cure for cancer and all this stuff, but as you begin to research things, and as I've studied the human body, I honestly believe there's cures for cancer. And this is where I'm going to relay into Kevin Trudeau, Natural Cures I don't want you to know about. I'm sure you've seen this infomercial, but I have a lot of respect for this guy. He actually grew up in a town near where I lived, but I look up to this guy very much. I mean, I don't doubt he's a businessman trying to make some money for himself. I mean, he is a billionaire, but if you read his book, he presents natural cures for cancer, natural cures for virtually all diseases. And I'm not saying he's the cure-all guy, but he presents, where he's coming from is he's presenting information from a lot of other doctors, a lot of holistic doctors, a lot of naturopaths, a lot of doctors like that, who have come across and found natural cures for diseases that the pharmaceutical company controls the FDA. And it is the job of the FDA to only regulate drugs. They don't want natural methods to come out because they don't want natural cures to come out because that would cut into the profits of the pharmaceutical companies. And it sounds crazy, but that's the truth. And just think for yourselves, guys. And when I read Kevin Trudeau's book, it started to open me up to all these possibilities, started opening me up and leading me down the road and searching for things for myself. And you gotta object to everything, even when I'm presenting in this video. I honestly believe that there's a lot of information presented that is biased in America. And just research stuff yourself, guys, and always challenge the mass belief of what is told. Always challenge the mass belief. Research the individuals and not the corporations. The likes of Kevin Trudeau, Leonard Caldwell, an individual and a doctor. Let's see, who else is there? There's a book written by G. Edward Griffin, The World Without Cancer. Research that, go wherever. Jesse Ventura. There's just a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of individuals out there presenting information. And getting back to these presidential debates, when news was presented that it was McCain and Obama still running for president, there were still third-party candidates running. They weren't the only two left. There was still, I think there was 4 or 5 third-party candidates still running. They got no airtime. You gotta research stuff for yourself. Don't take stuff at face value. Just don't take stuff at face value. Take care, guys.